Jackson County Parks Director Kyle Lewis, and Manager of Events Center and the Cascades, Emily Thomas. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Park looks great. I was there yesterday and Saturday and last week. Some improvements underway. You're adding the Cascades, looks like extending one of the walking paths.
Yeah, we've got a lot of improvements coming up at Cascades Park this summer. So the path that you're talking about is part of the new pickleball court complex. So that's a path that goes up from the intersection there. Kind of just makes the courts more accessible, easier to get to. But you know, starting actually next week, the path around the ball fields, the Little League fields, is going to be reconstructed as well. So we did the part around the lagoons over the last 2 years, and this is kind of the last remaining part that's it's in rough shape. It needs to be repaired, so it's being completely rebuilt. So it'll be in good shape once we get that taken care of. It should be done in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
So.
Well, since we're talking about improvements at the Cascades, let's talk about pickleball. It's the rage.
It is the rage, yeah. And I know I can't wait to play it when we open this up in July or August or so. Do you play at all? Have you played?
I played twice.
Okay, that's about.
Does that count?
Yeah, well,
That counts.
Do you play?
We're on about the same level, yeah. So, you know, we've been talking about this for a few years now. We had some great partners in the Jackson Area Pickleball Association to raise the funds, and we got some grants, a large grant from the DNR Trust Fund grant. So we're finally at the construction phase. You know, this has been going pretty quick. It just they started in April, but it's making some really visible progress, and you know, all goes well, we should be playing pickleball in July or August. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously there are asphalt courts.
Asphalt courts, and then there's a concrete walkway down the center of the courts where there'll be a picnic shelter and some viewing areas and things like that.
How many courts will be part of the complex?
It's going to be 8 courts.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they take up a much smaller footprint than the previous tennis courts that were there.
Yeah. So, well, it's actually a little bit larger than the footprint of the tennis courts. About the same.
Yeah, but a single court is like half the size of a regular tennis court, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Emily, do you play pickleball?
I've played it a few times, but definitely not a regular yet.
Well, we'll have to get out there.
That's right.
I'm betting that once those open up, they will be busy from dawn to dusk.
I think so too. There's been so much interest and so much excitement about it. They're going to be busy, so, in a good way.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Cascades Ice Cream Company will be very happy as they're the closest neighbor.
Right.
It's already very popular, but
Yeah.
they'll have to add some more teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know how many pickleball courts around the state have an ice cream shop right outside the
Yeah.
courts. That's going to be great.
Good mixture.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Our parks, one of the jewels of our community. So with summer knocking on the door, it's this weekend that the traditional kickoff to summer happens at Jackson County Parks. So why don't you guys fill us in on what we're in store for this year?
Yes, we have lots of exciting things happening. Starting Friday night, all weekend actually, is free admission sponsored by Alro Steel in celebration of their 75th anniversary. So Friday night we have free admission. Gates open at 8 p.m. and that's the first night of the 2023 season. And then Saturday night we lead into our first of our 3 fireworks shows. Fireworks and live entertainment by Act 3 is sponsored by Little Caesars of Jackson, and then again free admission by Alro again. So very generous donation that allows for anybody and everybody to come in and enjoy the falls, the live music, stop at the concession stand, gift shop. We have food trucks there as well. So lots of exciting things happening. And also the splash pad opens, if weather permits, which it's looking good so far, on Saturday, and that will be the first day. First dump of the year at the splash pad happening Saturday, 11 a.m.
Well, you're right. The forecast for this weekend is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Great way to start summer. And so many traditions are for this community at the Cascades, particularly with the summer holidays. And one of those traditions, the fireworks. They back this year?
They sure are. We have Memorial Day, July 3rd, and Labor Day weekend. We're having our fireworks show. So Saturday night this year we'll have our first, or this weekend actually, May 27th. Gates open at 6 p.m. Live entertainment starts at 6:30, and then fireworks at dusk. So we're going
Awesome.
out with a bang.
So thanks to the sponsors, because you do have, you mentioned Alro and the Little Caesars of Jackson again this year.
Yes.
And they've been doing it, I don't know, decades really.
Decades.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. What about entertainment? Have you booked the lineup of entertainers for the Cascades this summer, Emily?
Yep, we have all of our family nights lined up and have some new characters as well. Thank you to LRO Steel. So we're excited to be announcing those. So watch our Facebook pages and website. We're going to be announcing those here shortly, probably within the next week or two. All of our different themed character nights on Wednesday nights. All of our bands are lined up for Wednesday nights as well, along with the band shell on Saturday nights. And those are free concerts for people to join at the Rotary Band Shell at Sparks Park.
I was looking at your lineup, Emily, and it looks like everyone's local. You've got Steve Berkmeyer, Bigfoot Bob, Flight, Pinter Whitnick, Gary Nemensky, either local or returning
Yes.
acts by popular demand.
Yes, they are. Popular demand for sure. The locals love them.
Nice. Are you going to do any Lollapaloozas this year?
Yes, we are doing one Palooza July 28th. Mobile dueling pianos will be doing that too, so it will be a fun night for sure.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, when you reduce the boulevards to single lane of traffic each way and change the remaining boulevard to parking, I wasn't sure about that, but now that I've seen the parking in use at a big event, it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And I think that's kind of been the feeling from a lot of people. It was a huge change, you know, that had been like people drive through that park a lot. So seeing such a drastic change, I think, was a surprise to people at first. But there's so much going on in that park and so much activity that, you know, that was a great opportunity to create some parking. And with the pickleball, with all the special events there, with the memorial area, the basketball courts, we can't have enough parking. I think we're good now, but it's worked out really well.
Yeah, even when there's not a special event, it's just a regular Saturday in the park, it is very busy.
Yeah.
Do you count? Is there any way you count traffic?
We don't count traffic. No, we count. We know how many people attend the Cascades each year for admission in there, but you know, there's a lot more in the park overall, watching the fireworks and coming to events. I don't know. I wouldn't even want to guess, but it's a big number.
Yeah, recent Saturdays, proms, a lot of prom goers getting pictures in the park, and people having picnics, and yeah, getting ice cream. Yeah. Well, it's not our only county park, but it's the flagship. We've got a lot of other parks to staff and run, and you're still hiring.
We are still hiring, yeah. We've got some openings. You know, this is a big weekend all around the park system. So our campgrounds open up this weekend, Pleasant Lake and Swains Lake. They both open Memorial Day weekend. So I think Swains Lake is actually booked already for the weekend, and Pleasant Lake is close. But yeah, we're always looking for people to join our team. So we've got a link on our website at jacksoncountyparks.org.
What about all the other parks? Any new amenities or features this year?
Yeah, a couple of recent projects. You know, we've got a lot of new, it's not the most exciting thing, but definitely needed. We've got a lot of new roofs on our picnic shelters and some bathroom buildings around the park system. So Vandercook Lake, Pleasant Lake, a few other handful of parks got some new metal roofs this year, which they look good, green roofs. And we've got a new restroom building coming to Vineyard Lake in July. So got some, you know, we put in some new boat launches last year at Swains Lake and Vineyard Lake. We've got a handful of playgrounds that have gone in the last year or so, and some more coming up in the next 12 months. So lots of improvements all throughout the county.
Yeah, I noticed, Kyle, too, one of the things you've been improving, the picnic facilities. You've put concrete pads under picnic tables and grills, and just making a nicer look and just a more comfortable setup for picnickers.
Exactly. Yeah, those have been popular, and it's popular amongst our mowing crew too, because they don't have to move the picnic tables to mow around them. But it is more pleasant, and they're more accessible that way. So.
Should we be feeding the ducks and geese in the parks?
I wouldn't recommend it. But
No, do not.
I know it's. I know people like to do that though.
Yeah. See, when you feed them, they keep coming back, and unlike Vineyard Lake, they are not building a new restroom facility for the ducks and the geese. Emily, one of the most exciting things ever to happen at Keeley Park happened recently, and that was the demolition of the giant twin billboard that graced the park entrance.
Yes, it's like a new entrance. It's beautiful.
It looks great.
Yes, I was actually standing inside of the event center, and I'm like, wow, it's brighter inside the building from the big billboard being taken down.
Yeah.
So, yes, we're excited to see that go.
It really makes a huge difference, and I know that was always part of the plan, but you had contracts in place, but it does open up the park. And Kyle, there's even some expansion plans with the old armory that might become part of the Jackson County Parks.
Yeah, there's a few things that we're at least studying at this point, and looking for looking into some funding opportunities to kind of make those a couple of different buildings there more of a public use. So the county board has considered that recently, and has us looking into some funding opportunities. But there's a historic building there, of course, that used to be a cafeteria, and then there's a kind of a warehouse garage type building that not as historic, but could have we'd like to get some type of a public use out of those and restoration, if we can find some funds to do so.
Cool. Emily, how are bookings at the American Women Event Center and Keeley Hall and the other facilities that you book?
Yeah, very busy. Our fall and spring, we just are coming out of a crazy springtime with lots of different trade shows and events happening. We're gearing up for graduation season right now. Lots of graduation parties in the building, lots of weddings. The Tower Ballroom, we are seeing great success stories there. Lots of weddings are booking for 2024 already, so we're excited. Lots of things happening, lots of things to come. Great events.
Nice. All right, well, let's remind everyone about Memorial Weekend this weekend. Starting on Friday, what's the lineup?
Free admission Friday night. Gates open at 8 p.m. and that is our first night that we're opening at the Cascades. And then Saturday is the first of our 3 fireworks shows. Gates open at 6 p.m. Live entertainment by Act 3, sponsored by Little Caesars, starting right at 6:30. And again, that's free admission for everyone, sponsored by Alro Steel.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, we'll see you this summer at Jackson County Parks.
Sounds good. Hopefully a few times.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From Jackson County Parks, the Parks Director, Kyle Lewis, and Director of Events and the Event Center in the Cascades, Emily Thomas. Well, next up,